Yes, I'm Andre White, and I am a detective with the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, and I'm running for Los Angeles County Sheriff to be the next sheriff of LA.
So Andre, where did you grow up at?
I grew up in Compton, California, man. I'm from the hub city. Grew up there. Yeah, Compton produced a lot of good people. I like to call it gold. So yeah, we got a lot of good people in that city.
So how old are you? If you
Man,
don't
I'll
mind
be
me asking.
35 in a few weeks.
Oh man, so you fairly young. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
I'll be
saying?
35 in a few weeks.
You,
I'm always forgetting my birthday coming up.
are you Unk status? I believe you graduating the Unk right now,
Yeah, man.
right?
It's crazy. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
sir. Yes, sir. So growing up in Compton, man, just with all the influence, with all the street culture, with all the politics that are involved in the city as far as the street wise, what made you pick up the badge and go that route instead of going to the streets?
You know what's crazy? First and foremost, God. Without Him, I wouldn't be where I'm at now. Second person, my mother. She raised me by herself in that city. But she worked two jobs when we were growing up. It was me and my sister. And if it wasn't for her and my sister for keeping me on the straight and narrow, I wouldn't be here either. Because like you said, man, I got so many friends that I grew up with that is no longer here due to the streets or they in jail. Um, but the crazy thing is I never wanted to be a police officer. Never. In a million years, you could have told me that I was doing what I'm doing right now. And this kind of just fell into my lap, man. And what I really wanted to do wasn't working out. And, God has his plans. He got it mapped out for you. And um, he led me on this pathway. I'm here for a reason. So, and I just never looked back, man. I've accepted it.
Now, when you hear law enforcement and Compton, they're kind of like opposites when it comes to our community.
Yep.
So, how do you plan to like kill that stigma or try to change that narrative?
Yeah. First of all, you got to be involved, man. And I think you have to have somebody that actually understands that stigma, right? Because we grew up, like I said, we grew up and it was like, we don't mess with the police, you know? Um, but now the way things are and the way things have changed, I think it's very important now to have people like myself that look like me, that talk like me, that thinks like me, walks like me in these positions so we can reach out to that young man or woman that may be wanting to do this job but don't know if it's okay to, or they don't see someone that they can look up to. So, man, I can't wait to really get rid of that stigma, bridge this gap between communities like Compton, because it's not only Compton, it's South LA, Compton, Gardena, all the local communities around us that, you don't see too many cops that look like us. So I want to make sure that people that may be thinking about wanting to do this job, or they may not even thought like myself, I want them to be able to be reached out to and build that connection, build those relationships so the community can be policed by the community and look like the and look like it.
Now, that stigma doesn't just drop out of the air,
It
it
doesn't.
comes from years and years of bad policing. So, a lot of the times, like you said, the cops don't look like us and they don't come from our area, so they don't understand. Like, within the department, how do you plan to attack the problems within the department so that it's not just about, changing the narrative, it's also about educating, because I think that that's the key, is that they have no knowledge of us and who we are, how we operate.
Yeah. So it's education and it's a culture change. Within that culture needs to be changed. We're talking about traditions that have been embedded for many, many years that are just don't fit today's era and today's time of policing. We're talking about policies that just don't fit today's era, today's policing. But we've never had no one to come in and say, instead of going on where we've been going, this is what we're going to do now moving forward. And that goes with hand in hand, reaching out to people and recruiting from our own communities. it was always, it's like this myth, right? That myth of, oh, a lot of people still to this day tell me, oh, you can't work where you live at, right? Like they make you guys go out. I'm like, no, that's a myth. I thought the same thing, but it's a myth. I can work in the same community that I am from. So that what they're feeding is completely different from what they're doing. So we got to fix that, man. I want to be able to go into high schools and junior colleges in our communities and recruit us, and hope that your guys come back and stay and work in the community, because that's what it's about. It's not going to change. Majority of the people that I work with do not even live in the county. They don't even live in the same county that they work in. So we have a huge problem with that. A lot of them live out here in Riverside and San Bernardino County, and they come into our neighborhoods and work. So there's no real connection. There's no real care. There's nothing invested. I never left. I'm still here. My first house I moved, when I first bought my home, I can only afford something out in this way. But man, I came right back. I'm like, man, I'm from Compton. I have to come back. I don't live in Compton now, but my family, everyone's still there, but I live 10 minutes away. So that's what it's about. And I don't plan on leaving. When I'm the next sheriff, I'm here. I'm still here. And you're going to see me at events like festivals and Taste of Soul and stuff like that. That's what we need to see. That's what you got to be as a real leader in here. You got to represent everybody, man. You can't just be representing who you want to represent.
So what specific moment, if you can remember, that was like public safety? I want to go into the public safety sector. Like, was it a specific moment or a specific injustice that you've seen that was like, you know what, let me be that person to make that change?
Yeah. No, mine is really different. So fresh out of high school, I went and became an EMT because I wanted to join the fire department. So 18 years old, I was an EMT. I went to Compton College, got my EMT license, joined a company, and we worked alongside the fire department, going all across the county, responding to 911 calls, everything you could think of, people getting shot, car accidents, everything. So I did that for 5 years. And that was my passion, man, is just helping people, medicine, and like I said in the beginning, I just happened to fall into this position. And I always ask myself, why am I here? I used to ask myself all the time for the longest, why am I here? Why am I in this position? Why did you make it so easy for me to join something that I never wanted? And, I think everything happens for a reason, man. I'm a firm believer in that. And he put me here in this position now knowing what I am standing up to do. And I think that it just all came full circle for me. So I never had I've had a run-ins with my own department, before I joined it. But it never was like, it was some very bad run-ins, but it never had nothing in my mind to click like, man, I'm about to join this department and make the change. That was not in my plans, man. But God has it written. It's his plan. And look at me now, 12 years later, I ain't looked back. And now I'm doing something so historic and something that we never seen before. So I think this is the reason why he brought me on this pathway.
Definitely. So why politics though? Because a lot of politicians, they are just that. They're politicians.
Yep.
They know how to shake hands and say the right thing. But when the cameras go off and the lights are not there, they're a completely different person.
Yeah.
Who is Andre White when the cameras off?
Man, look, me, the same way. I've been speaking like this forever. But outside of uniform, outside of the suit, I'm still that young man from Compton. I really want to say another way, but y'all get me. I'm still that same dude. Still at the local fish market, still at your local parks, still hooping at the gym. Like I will never change. I never change. And I used to tell people, I tell the people that I trained on this department when they were coming out, um, you make this badge, don't let it make you. So when it comes off, I'm still the same dude. I still go through the same issues, same problems that, everyone that looks like me go through. Just because of what I do, it don't change nothing. It don't change their perception. They don't know that when I'm out of uniform. So I'm still that same person. And I will always be. Now to answer the politic question, man, this is when I decided to do this, I didn't really think about the politics side of it. I just thought about, I want to make a change with this department that I'm working in, that I have to work in for the next 20 years. Like, I'm in here on a whole nother mission. But then realizing, damn, I'm a politician. And I hate that, because I'm not. People are like, you're a politician now. I could probably buy the name, and because, I have these little cards and I'm on here asking for your vote, but I'm not no politician. I'm not. In fact, I'm far from that. Me shaking hands and meeting people, I've been doing that forever. I can have a conversation with the most randomest person in a grocery store. Like, we can chop it up in uniform and out of uniform. But this politic game is not for the weak, I've learned. And it's definitely left a distaste moving forward. It's definitely something.
Why is that?
Man,
the tactics, the realm itself.
It's everything. It's the backdoor stuff that I'm now seeing firsthand because I'm in these rooms now, right? It's the conversations that are being had. It's the politics, right? Like when people say it's politics, man, it's real. It is real politicking,
Mm-hmm.
And I just really I've been voting all my life, man. That's one thing I have since 18. I've been always exercising my right. I ain't missed a time where I've never voted. Like, I've always been into politics, paid attention to it. But now when I'm on this side, I'm like, man, this is not about the people. So, and I think that pisses me off, man. It's not about us. They don't give 2 cents about us. I'm sitting here learning it. And that's why I really take pride in my campaign, man, because this was built on me. Nobody's tapped me on the shoulder. I haven't sought any endorsements. Like, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm trying to get to the people to make sure y'all get out and vote and make sure that this is us. You guys put us in these positions. I'm not looking for no backing, no nothing. I've been funding my campaign myself, man, from my own savings. I done gave up my whole little classic car savings that I've been saving for. Like, that's gone. But I don't care, because I believe in myself, and I know what I'm here for, and I know why I'm doing this. So yeah, it's giving me a different view of politics, and I'm just like, boy, ugh, But it's important for us to continue, people like myself, to step up and do it, man.
So every strong leader, man, they have that defining setback in their career where they persevered and overcame. What was that moment for you, and how did you overcome it?
Damn. You know what? From 18 years old when I started working till now, I've had a lot of setbacks. And I'm speaking to the working field setbacks. I have been stopped from moving up. I've been stopped from progressing. It's so many things that I've gone through. Like, I was in a field where predominantly white. I was like one of the 3-4 black men at a company that has 2,000-3,000 people in it. At one point, I was working around everyone but people that looked like myself. And man, I used to have it rough, man. Comments, things that were being done. And I could have easily folded and just been like, man, I don't, run away from it and just move on to a different direction. But man, I'm very, very, I am a man of faith, a man of God, prayer, man. That's the only way that even right now, this has been not a smooth road. I go home and I pray for me to have the strength constantly, mentally, like the mental strength. This has been a mental exhausting for the last year. And it will put you in some places where it makes you want to just like, man, I'm done. I don't want to do this no more. I'm so glad I just never, I never quit nothing in my entire life, like not even no sport. So I'm glad I have that mental toughness and that strength to do it. But for me getting past it, man, support of my family and God has been like those are the number two things, I promise you.
So many of us in the corporate world go through the same thing, because I've just left a company recently where I went through the same thing, where I was one of 3 black guys in the position, the first black guy to be in the admin office. There's the first and the last, you know what I'm saying? So many different comments, so many different just underlying issues that you would see firsthand. And for me, it would be the way that I see the way that they deal with our people.
Yeah.
At first, every time an issue would happen with a black person, they would come get me, and I would be like, I was mad at first. I'm like, why you come get me for every time? But then I started to see how they did our people when I'm not in the room, and I'm like, no, come get me every time.
Yep.
Because if I'm not in the room, we have no chance.
You know what's crazy about that? I literally just spoke at my last event that I was just at. Right now, I'm in a unit. I'm a gang detective. And it's about, give or take, 150 to 200 of us total. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's 5 of us, 5 blacks, 5 or 6. And one just got there like a month ago. And I just said this, I said, you know what? I started realizing that I was the calming factor for the people that we were dealing with. I would look around and I would hate to see that it was just me involved in this whole entire issue, but the people that are on the other side of the fence that we're dealing with be the first ones that, can I talk to you? Can I, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you said, man, it started to be like, man, why they always want to talk to me? Why they always want to single me out and this and that? But then you start to realize, like, wait a minute, I gotta be here. Because they know, and I know, whatever information that they're trying to get, if I can give it to them, they're going to get it. So I started seeing it a different way. Like, you know what? No, I'm happy I am here because I can be that peace.
As a black guy, when you're dealing with discrepancies and you're reading the room as you're stating your case, and you can just see the look on their faces. It's like they're not even paying attention to your side. It's like they're just waiting for you to stop talking.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the sense that I got my whole corporate career, and that's why I'm diving back into my own personal, endeavors, because it's just hard for us to mentally lock in and navigate that corporate world.
Yep.
Yeah, man. So as far as back to the policing, man, we don't have a lot of black cops, and they're definitely not from the communities in which they police. And that's because of the brutality, because of all the harassment. A lot of times, especially during COVID, you've seen a big defund the cops.
Mm-hmm.
And that movement is because a lot of people that believe that policing are is beyond repair.
Yeah.
That you can't fix these problems.
Yeah.
What can you do as your elected sheriff to fix these problems where people feel like they want to fund the police instead of defund?
Yeah, man. You hit it right on the nail. 2020, since 2020, it's been rough. It's been rough for myself. I've seen the whole dynamics change of how, like before 2020, I could be at a store and people would want to just walk up to me in uniform and have a conversation with me. After 2020, they look at me like, ugh, it's him, right? And I'm like, damn, man, that used to mess me up because I'm like, wait a minute, I'm you, you know? So it's fixable. It's fixable, but with anything in life, you have to want to fix it. We have to have somebody that wants to fix it. Defund the police, that frustrated me, man, because I used to sit there and be like, you want to defund me? I took it personal, like, you're saying defund the police, you're going to get rid of people like myself. People like myself that is out here that's putting his life on the line for y'all to make sure we doing this right, we doing, X, Y, and Z. It's a lot of us, man, that we do some very good work. So it's like when we hear that, man, it was very demoralizing because it's like, damn, man, even our own people don't want us here, But I don't think they were really speaking to us, but it's like that's how we felt. So we have to get back to having somebody, a leader that understands today, 2026. We don't need nobody that's all of their experience in the community was back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Like that's the last time you've been actually, I like to say, boots on the ground. We don't need nobody that's been stuck in an office in all these different positions for the last, 10 plus years, because you lose sight of really what the issues is and how you can actually make things better within the community. And until we have somebody that's like, no, I've been there, I've seen it, this is the issue, I just dealt with it, we won't have that change, man. It's unfortunate. So it's really on leadership. It's on leadership. Like we can't fault nobody else but leadership.
Now, when you speak of leadership, I think of two leadership styles that stick out mostly. It's either you lead and you want to be feared, or you want to be respected.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the disconnect, is that most cops, they come with that I want to be feared mentality, so they come with that over-aggressive mind state and approach to every situation.
Yep.
Why do cops choose to be feared than to be respected?
Because it's funny you say that. It's a few answers to that question. It's my opinion. One of them is they're feared because of where they come from, I believe. For instance, I used to ask people that worked like in Compton, South LA, these areas where it's predominantly Black or Hispanic. I used to be like, you ever been here before the job? Like before your assignment, have you ever been in this city? And majority of the answers are like, I've never been here, right? So that fear comes in because it's like you ain't even never been around this type of environment. I remember when I was in the academy, one of the instructors said, it was 100 of us, how many of y'all ever been in a fist fight? Like, how many of y'all been in a fight? And out of the 100, it was probably like 5 to 10 that raised their hand, right? So if you ain't never like been in a fight, but you're about to put on this uniform and it's gonna be a time where you may have to fight, what's your response gonna be? If this is your first time and you in your 30s ever being in a position like this, the response is gonna be what we've been seeing across, the world, right? First thing they go is they're gonna go to their weapons, right? And they may be afraid, and they may think that this person with that aggression or the way they're speaking or the way they're expressing something, they may take it as a threat. When in reality, I can be having that same conversation, and the way he's elevated his tone or the way he's speaking, I don't view that as a threat because I'm like, oh, this is how we express ourselves where we come from. So it's then you have the ones that they're trying to gain the respect a whole different way. And I used to tell people all the time when I was in the county jail, I never had no issues in the county, like none with nobody, because we learned growing up, you got to earn people's respect, or respect others as if you wanted to be, respected as well. So I never talked down to nobody. I never had to make it seem like I'm the hierarchy person. Shoot, man, them dudes used to love me in there. Like, oh man, White, he cool, but I know where to draw the line, right? I'm cool. We can always have a conversation. I will always respect you as long as you respect me. But I would never let the way I treated people affect my job and how it had to be ran. And I think they knew that and they respected that. Like, hey man, if you did some BS, the consequences with it. But it was never like that disrespect. So I used to tell people all the time, like, man, you got to be careful how you talk to these people, because at the end of the day, these are still some human beings, and they ain't caring about this uniform. They don't care about none of that. Like, they'll put you on your back, And I've watched partners get boo-bop because of the way you talking to people. To me, man, if you're a grown man, I'm gonna always respect you as a man. I don't care if you are in this position and I'm in this position. If you're incarcerated and I'm not, that doesn't devalue yourself as a man. So I never, but that's just how I was raised, man. It goes back to a culture thing. But that's just tough. That's tough. But we got to find more people we got to find more people in our communities, man, that want to do this job, man.
We got to get to the YNs, because the YNs are growing up with the online like we never did. So their distrust in police is even greater than ours was, because that's all they see.
That's all they see.
Is that dogma that comes from the internet that's pushing the narrative that they want to push.
Yeah.
So what would be your message to the YNs out there that,
I hate that word.
the YPs.
The YPs,
the
young people.
The young people. Yeah. Let's call them YPs. The young people out there. What would your message be to the young people out there as far as their view on law enforcement and why they should look at it differently?
To the young people, I am you. You are me. We come from the same cloth, the same neighborhood, the same culture. We can do anything we want. I'm living proof of it. So there's no excuse. And I just tell them, man, go out there and be yourself. Don't follow, always lead. The internet, social media, it's a good thing and bad thing, man. It can uplift us, but it can also bring us down. So I always say, man, just if you're gonna be on those platforms, man, educate yourself. Don't always fall for the clickbait. Educate yourself. But I'm living proof that you can do whatever you want to do in this world if you put your mind to it, man. And I really hope that we go away from this narrative of being on the internet and doing all these different videos and all this stuff. Like, man, I guess I'm just not. I still haven't got used to it, but. Because like you said, we didn't grow up with that, but man, I really wish we can go away from that and go back to how we were raised as young men and women. And I think it'll really change us, because right now social media is not doing good for people like that look like myself, the young people, the YNs, right? It ain't doing a good service for us, man. Some people are taking it and they're doing it the right way, becoming, streamers, becoming journalists. But a lot of us are being sucked into a hole, into that cycle of stuff that we see on the internet, and it's not helping us at all, man. I mean, the cases that I see come across my desk, I'm like, man, what were you thinking? What were you thinking? Like 16, 7, I'm like, I wasn't thinking about doing nothing like this. I don't know who to blame for that, but I know social media is a part of it. There's some other people that we got to blame for it, but I really hope we change the tides on this real soon, because we ain't going in a good, right direction. I mentioned earlier, we don't have leaders. Again, it goes back to leadership, man. We don't have leaders that look like, that are not, majority of people we look up to are rappers or athletes. My biggest idol was an athlete. So it's like we really need to have somebody that look like us in other positions, man. It shouldn't take 40 plus years for us to get another Obama, or it shouldn't take, to where I'm gone, to where we have men in the position that I'm running for. So I think we really, as a whole, we really got to step up. Our generation got to step up and start, pushing forward, man. Otherwise, we're gonna be lost.
I like that answer a lot, man. The last question before we wrap this up, man. If somebody were to watch this interview and they still weren't convinced on who Andre White is, what is the message that you want to leave them as far as who you are, why you running, and the reason that you even got into politics in the first place?
Yeah. If you're still confused, I don't know what else to tell you. Look, I'm a young man, 34. I'll be 35 in a couple weeks. I got a little daughter, 2 years old. I'm married. Me and my wife are both from Compton. We grew up right around the corner from each other, went to school with each other. I'm just really about the people. This ain't even about me. I'm not even doing this for me. I'm really just doing it for everyone, man. And that's just how I've always been, man. I just want to do things right, be the best of myself, and just always have. My heart. Sometimes I fault myself for being too much of a kind-hearted person, man. I believe that's probably my biggest fault. But I'm always going to be trying to look out for people the best way I can. And I'm always going to be trying to have the good, to do the best that I can, and be that role model to people that may be looking at me, people that I don't even know that may be watching me, man. I always try to lead by example. I always try to practice what I preach. And I always will always lend a helping hand to anybody, man. Anybody that wants advice, anybody that may want to do this job, hit me up, man. Hit me up. Ask me about it. I'm always setting people up on ride-alongs that I've never known, But that's what a lot of us don't do, man. We don't look out for each other. We don't try to bring each other in, bring each other up. That's one thing we got to do better as black people, for sure. We got to start working together, man, because together as one, we are powerful. And we won't be stopped. But until we mentally get on the right track and mentally say that we free from what our ancestors had to go through, I think then we'll be unstoppable. So to any young black woman, black man, brown woman, brown man that come from the areas that I'm from, that was raised how I was raised, I'll tell you this: whatever you want to do in life, don't let nobody tell you you can't do it. No matter how old you are, no matter how young you are, go do it and put your all into it. And most importantly, put God first, and I guarantee you everything gonna be okay.